Hi guys, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back again for another stream, and this is the knee-jerk live reaction stream. As always on a Sunday, a bit of a later one today because Manchester United and Everton were playing, and they just finished the game now, so a bit later than usual. So 9 p.m. today. So we thought we'd quickly do a stream for you guys and react to Game Week 10 and how it's all gone. But we will come on to how it's gone. But it's not been a good week for me anyway. But we will talk about how it's gone this season. But you okay, Jordan? Everything good?
Yeah, it's been very good. Thank you. Been an interesting weekend in terms of football. But yeah, let's get to it. I guess
Yeah, a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss because of what a crazy game week is all in certain sense, and a lot has probably not gone right for me. But we'll come on to that. But before we do start, if you are joining the stream, guys, please do drop a like on the video if you can, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. So let's bring up my team. So as you guys can see from my team, it wasn't a great week, but we are going to discuss in depth as we go on. But let me just quickly go through what happened with my team this week. So I'm on 44 points currently. Is that with the 1 point from Gurhi, Jordan? It's not, is
I
it?
believe so. Yes.
Oh, because on the FPL app it's showing 44 points. It's not showing. I might be on 45 points, or not. That makes a massive difference, but I might be on 45, so I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But yeah, let's talk. So I started Ward, as you guys know, ahead of Guaita, and that didn't pay off because Ward did concede. He conceded 2 goals, didn't he? So got the -1. I think
Yeah.
Guaita got a save point, so I would have been better off starting Guaita. So unfortunately, Ward gets me 1 point, and I'm probably going to start Guaita from next week anyway. But that went wrong. Moving on to the back four, I did have Reece James, who was surprisingly benched for some reason. I don't know what Potter was doing, but he decided to bench James. He only came on for 18 minutes, and yeah, got the blank 1 point. Moving on to Cancelo, who is probably as the star of the game week. Brilliant performance from him, and Man City goal, clean sheet, bonus points as well, and an assist. Can't really complain at all with Cancelo. 18-point haul. Very, very happy with that. And he did save my back line. So it is nice to see Cancelo getting a haul. When you look at the rest of my team, he doesn't look good. But Trent, where do we begin with Trent? We are going to talk more in depth about Liverpool, but Trent went off at half time after conceding 2 goals. And yeah, we're going to have to speak about Liverpool and what we do with their assets. Because as you guys can see, I do have 2 Liverpool players in my team in Trent and Salah. And I wish I wildcarded in game week 8 now. Honestly, if I wildcarded in game week 8, I wouldn't have any Liverpool players in my opinion. So going in wildcard 9, the reason I went wildcard 9 is because I wanted Salah and Trent. He hasn't paid off. So well done to game week 8 wildcarders who went without Trent and Salah. You guys obviously got the better of the end of the straw there. And to complete the back four, I got Fabian Schär. Unfortunately, did concede, so only got me the 2 points. And Trippier, I know, done well, but because he got the assist. So all in all, the back five with the goalie, pretty terrible, apart from Cancelo. Moving on to the midfield four, I did go with double Leicester attack, Barnes and Maddison. So Barnes gets me 2 points. Maddison gets a yellow card as well, I believe. And yeah, it's just blanks all round. 2 points from Barnes, 1 point from Maddison. Didn't pay off this week. Obviously, last week it was very, very good from them, but this week it didn't go as I wanted it to, and it was just blanks all round. It's very disappointing from Leicester to lose to was it Forest, wasn't it?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Oh yeah, Leicester triple up on a Leicester. It's not looking good right now. I know it looked good last week, but yeah, a lot of surgery in this team probably needed. Maybe I'm overreacting. I don't know, but it's been a frustrating game week. Salah, where do we begin with Salah as well? Subbed off after 70 minutes, I believe. Salah looked very anonymous in that game. Didn't really do much. Didn't really have a chance at a goal. This new formation Liverpool are playing with Núñez and Jota, Salah's gone a lot wider and he's not getting the chances or even the ball in those areas. So I think Salah, I'm just not keen to keep him anymore. I'm actually seriously contemplating taking a a -4 potentially to get rid of these Liverpool assets because I don't have faith in them anymore. As a Liverpool fan of watching that game, it doesn't look good, if I'm honest. But we will come on to that when we talk about your team, because you obviously own Salah, so I want to know what your plans are, because Liverpool do have Manchester City next, and that's not going to be easy. So
Nope.
we'll have to wait and see. Zaha got me the 5 points as well, which I was quite happy. He did get the assist for the second goal. Nice little flick to Eze, who did score. So nice to see Zaha get the assist. And then up front, I did go Haaland captain, as a majority of the people did in the game. As always, as inevitable as he is at the moment, Haaland gets another goal. Maybe not as much as we expected. Maybe expect a couple more from him, the way he's been going. But, goal, you can't really complain. 12 points as my captain. Mitrovic was left out of the team as well. He wasn't in the bench or even starting, so completely left out. And hopefully he is back for that game. Because if he's not, then I might have to transfer him out. So as of now, that is a team, guy. So I have Mark Gurhey coming on off the bench as well. So Mark Gurhey's coming on for 1 point. And that is my team pretty much. 44 points. I think it is 45 points if you include Gurhey. But I'm just going to double check. I think it is just 44 with the 1 point, actually. I think that is including, 44 points. Wow. Red arrow for me again. So 1.7 million rank currently sitting at, as you can see on the screen. So game week to forget definitely for me. But yeah, let's see some of your comments. Nanjay's in the stream. Hey guys, I got 68 points with Nico to come on for Mitrovic, and Coutinho still to come. Nice week. Pretty good score. What's the average this week, Jordan?
The average, I think,
52.
last time I saw it,
52 apparently.
It's
52.
52.
Yeah, but so I've scored below the average by quite a big amount. So yeah, I'm not surprised with the red arrow. But yeah, enough of my team for now. So that is the team, guys. 44 points. I am all out. Just a disappointing week, really. I think Game Week 8 wildcard definitely was the way to go. Because Game Week 9 hasn't paid off. If anyone's got Liverpool players assets, let us know what you're doing with them, because I'll be interested to hear. But let's come on to your team, Jordan, and just talk us through how your game week went.
Okay, so this is what my team looks like in Game Week 10 so far. So we'll start off with the goalkeeper, which is Raya, and Brentford were obviously against Newcastle, who literally got battered. I think was the score 5-1 to Newcastle?
I think it was 4-1, isn't it?
Yeah, it must have been 4-1. I think
I want to bring up the scores.
Result.
No, sorry, you're right. 5-1.
Oh yeah, it was a massive battle for Brentford. And Raya got 0 points because of obviously conceding more than 4 goals against him. So he did get 0, which was entirely expected, but it's no better than what Ward got, and that was only 1 point difference. So yeah, not much to say about that. So we'll move on to the defenders, where there's a bit more fortune with Trippier, who got the 7 points. He got a nice assist and a bonus 1, I believe, and a clean sheet. Not a clean sheet. A bonus 2. Sorry.
Yeah, and an assist as well.
And an assist. So that was nice. Return again from Trippier, who's been doing very well this season for Newcastle. So yeah, it was a nice 7-pointer from him. Cancelo, an impressive 18-pointer from him. Congrats to everyone who captained Cancelo, because I imagine some people did go for the little risky move to captain him against Southampton, which I did predict the score 4-0 Man City, which was quite nice to predict. But yeah, it was a nice, comfortable win for Man City. And bonus 3, Cancelo clean sheet, and he scored a goal as well. So all in all, it was very good for Cancelo in that game. My final defender, I probably ask this myself every time why I bring in Chelsea assets, because it never ever works. But Reece James did not start, and Potter decided to rotate pretty much the whole team for Chelsea, and that included Reece James. So he only played a couple of minutes in the second half, which only led him to get 1 point, which is very annoying because Chelsea won 3-0. So if Reece James started in that game, that would have been a nice clean sheet all round for my defence. So a slight annoying there for that, but hey ho, we'll see how he should play next game anyway, Reece James, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully
So
anyway.
so that's my defense out of the way. We'll talk about the midfield. So it's a bit of a mixed bunch. So we've got Zaha, who did get the assist today from Eze's goal, which got him 5 points, which was a nice return. I didn't think he was going to score in that game, but an assist was better than a blank from him. A bit more success from Martinelli in the game against Liverpool. He did get a goal, Martinelli, within 58 seconds. I think the goal was scored. And he also got an assist and I think a bonus 2 on top of that. So he got a nice haul of 12 points in that game, which is nice. It didn't matter much because he is still highly owned. I think a lot of people
I'm
held
so
on.
annoyed. I don't have Martinelli as well.
Yeah, I think for people that sold Martinelli, they're a bit annoyed at that result. But
I knew the risk. I
yeah.
went against it, but yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards anyway. Liverpool game.
Yeah, so yeah, nice 12 pointer for Martinelli. Maddison was a bit of a surprise against Bournemouth, he only got a yellow card in that game, which led to him getting 1 point, which was a bit underwhelming, especially against Bournemouth, beating Leicester 2-1, which is even more of a shock. But yeah, it's a good game for Bournemouth in that game. Leicester need to sort themselves out a bit, I think, on that game.
Yeah.
Finally, we come to the massive talking point, which is Salah, who got only the 2 points. He just looked like Casper the Ghost in that game. I didn't even really see him. I didn't hear him. I didn't even see his contribution in the game at all. It just was terrible. He even got subbed off, which wasn't surprised. Just the way he was playing in that game and Liverpool overall was just shocking. So yeah, it was only 2 points from Salah, which I'll say it's not really a surprise, but I was kind of hoping a bit more from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we
I want to
move
see
on
what you
to
do. I want to see what you do as well with Salah because we're gonna both have to discuss whether we're gonna take him out for game week 11.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's a massive talking point for Salah. But yeah, the final front three line. Obviously Mitrovic was not in the squad at all, so Nico Williams will come on for me, but he does play tomorrow against Aston Villa at home, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in that game. But he will come on for Mitrovic, who didn't feature in tonight's football. So we move on to Haaland, who was obviously the captaincy pick this week. It doesn't matter much that he got 12 points if you captain him because everyone pretty much did, and that doesn't really affect the ranking fantasy at the moment, as that's just a perma captain at the moment for Haaland. So he did score in that game though, which I was kind of thinking, was he going to blank? Because it was a late goal from Haaland, but without a doubt, he did return again, which was a nice thing from him. As always, he's a goal machine currently. And finally, we got Ivan Toney, who Brentford did get a penalty. So I did mention this before to people who did transfer Toney out, who had back-to-back blanks. Do not transfer Toney out because it will not pay off for you. And obviously, look what happened. He gets a penalty, he scores, and he gets 5 points from that game. Even though Newcastle won 5-1, Toney still returned a goal in that game. So that was a nice added bonus to the team for Toney to score, even though Brentford had a terrible game against Newcastle. So that is how my starting 11 has gone. I'll talk about my bench a little bit. Obviously, Ward got 1 point from the Bournemouth game, so it didn't really affect much that I didn't play him or not. Nico Williams obviously plays tomorrow against Aston Villa at home, so we'll have to wait and see what happens in that game. This is the annoying thing. Andreas got 6 points from scoring in
I'm annoyed
today's
about
game.
that as well. He
Without
outscored
Mitrovic.
every single one of our midfielders. I think Andreas. I'm pretty sure. Even Zaha.
I was slightly annoyed at this because I was thinking of playing Andreas over Nico Williams just because, but I thought without Mitrovic, I thought he'd be a 2-pointer from Andreas, but obviously not. So he got 6 points on the bench. So there was a bit of annoying there. Could have got a bit more. But at the end of the day, I got 63 points total so far with Nico Williams to play, and my rank is slightly a red arrow. So
I'm surprised.
yeah, I am very surprised. The safety score for me was 63, so I was online with that. I was quite shocked how high the safety score is, but I guess how other players have played it today and got returns, I can kind of see why. But I was on 1,240,000, but now it's
Okay.
1,255,000. So it's a slight red arrow of like 15k, but I still have Nico Williams to play, so that could change. But
Yeah,
that's how my game week 10 has gone so far for me.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a little red arrow, so it's not as bad. Obviously, you've still got Nico to play, so you might
Yeah,
end up on a green anyway if he manages to keep a clean sheet against Villa. But regarding
hopefully.
that's a lot bigger red arrow for me. But yeah, let's read out some of your comments. If you are just joining the stream, guys, please don't forget to drop a like on the video. It really, really helps our channel. So do drop a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are watching for the first time or if you're new around here. Garanch says bagged 80 points with Nico to come off the bench for Sterling. For me, I didn't play. Oh, 80 points. Very, very nice. He captain Foden as well. Differential captain. There you go. Paying off.
Yeah, very good work.
Nanjay says nice. Doctor says got 65 points. So quite similar to you there, Jordan.
Yeah.
Kobe also in the chat. Hello, lads. Ended up on 75 points by bench Martinelli.
You benched Martinelli. Wow.
I mean, Martinelli's just been on fire so far this season, and I am quite annoyed that I took him out now to basically bring in Salah, who hasn't done anything really apart from that assist against Brighton, which is not justifying his money. 13 million I got him in for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's discuss anyway. Let's go into more discussion points. Obviously, this is our game week. For anyone that is just joining, this is how our team done in game week 10. On the screen, you can see, Jordan's team, 63 points. And then my team, if I bring up for anyone that's just joined, I did finish on 44 points with a, quite a hefty red arrow. I am now sitting at 1.7 mil. It's fair to say I won't be winning FPL, but I'm hoping I can turn it around still. Still a long way to go. So we'll see how that does pan out. But not a great week for me. Bit better for you. But even then, you're still on a red arrow. So I'm guessing you're hoping for something tomorrow from Nico, obviously.
Yeah, I'm hoping for something because I'm surprised that 63 points this week is still a red arrow. It must be really high for people that got a really good score. I mean, in the chat, I see 65, 80 points. So it does seem like a lot of people had quite a fortune who didn't have any Liverpool assets.
Yes, I mean,
Bowen.
Bowen did really well as well. If you've got him, who else has scored quite high? Foden was popular in certain teams.
Saka, he scored
Saka,
2 goals.
2 goals. Obviously, I think 8 million midfielders again might be what we're missing out on. Maybe getting a Saka, getting a Foden, a Bowen. Wasn't popular, the 8 million midfielders, and now it's looking like that's where the next meta might be to play to go to 8 million midfielders. But yeah, so those are the teams out the way. Let's bring up our teams for game week 11. So, unless anyone else has got a comment here, actually, FPL Feces just joined the chat. He says he's got 63 with Watkins to go, so not bad as well. Good score. And Jesus, comment from Doctor. Let's bring up our teams, Jordan, for game week 11 and quickly talk about what we're looking like for game week 11, because obviously we spoke about game week 10 and how our teams have done. But I want to talk about game week 10, game week 11 as well, and just quickly plan a bit what we're going to do and just look at our bus teams.
Okay.
So I'll bring up my team now. I'll bring it up. Give me a sec. So yeah, bear with me for a sec, guys. I'm just going to bring up my team for game week 11. So I hope you guys can see that on the screen. So this is what I'm looking like currently for game week 11. So I've got Guaita in goal, who's got Leicester away. I've got a back four of James, who's got Villa, Trent, who's got Man City at home, Shah, who goes away to Man United, and then Cancelo, who's got Liverpool away. Then I've got a midfield four of Maddison and Barnes against Palace. And then I've got Zaha and Salah as well in the midfield four. And then up top, I've got Mitrovic, who's currently flagged, but should be back for that Bournemouth fixture. And then Haaland, who's currently got the captain's armband on him. And on the bench, I've got Gurhey, Andreas, Greenwood. Also, I did roll my transfer last week. So that means I have 2 free transfers as well. So there's a lot of moves I could potentially make. But just early thoughts, I wanted to speak about Gameweek 11 as well. But looking at my team, Jordan, what moves would you be making if you were in my position and you had 2 free transfers? Have you, if very briefly, obviously, moving ahead. If let's say Mitrovic is fit and he starts that Bournemouth game, what moves would you be looking to make?
I'll be particularly, it's probably obvious, but particularly focusing on removing Liverpool assets like Trent, for starters, for the money he's worth at 7.4 million, and what Liverpool have in terms of that got in return for Trent, it's not worth the price, and there's no clean sheets at all from Liverpool. They're not in the great form they were in, and I think they said as well statistically they've been playing the worst since 10 years ago. So that alone is a bit of a concern.
I mean, Trent's had, it was 2-2, against Fulham. Have Liverpool? They've had 2 clean sheets if you count Everton, but he got subbed off early. So Trent's actually had 1 clean sheet in 10 games, or 9, obviously because of the cancelled game in 7. But yeah, Trent's only had 1 clean sheet all season, which Liverpool defenders, there is that question to be had: can we go without Trent? Because at the start of the game, when FPL did launch, we were told Trent was one of those defenders that you can't go without. A lot of people were scared to go without Trent, but now the narrative changes that quickly, guys. Surrounding Liverpool, even Salah. So if I show you Salah, I bought him in Game Week 9. Sorry, Game Week 9 wildcard. I don't know if I want Salah anymore. I mean, then again, you take Salah out, Jordan, because you look at his fixtures. I know Liverpool are playing terrible right now, and I can't. If anyone wants to take Salah out, I wouldn't argue against why you wouldn't. So if you want to take him out, I think it's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah,
but he's got Man City next, which we know is a very tough fixture for Liverpool. Even when Liverpool are at top form, let alone how they're playing right now. So we know Liverpool are going to struggle in that game. So in Game Week 12, though, it gets interesting. They've got West Ham, and West Ham have picked up a bit of form again. I don't know if that's going to be an easy game for Liverpool. Then Nottingham, Leeds. I'm not so keen on Salah. It's a lot of. I know it's crazy. It might sound I'm being reactionary or whatever. But what do you make of Salah's next 5? Let's say from Game Week 11 to like Game Week 15. Do you like those Nottingham Leeds fixtures, or do you think you're scared off by Liverpool?
Yeah, I think that the boat sailed for Liverpool. Even those fixtures doesn't change my mind that I want to keep Liverpool. I'm pretty much going form over fixtures in terms of Liverpool, I think, at the moment, because even though their fixtures are nice after Game Week 11, it still might be the same scenario like it was with the difficult fixtures where Liverpool are still struggling, and Salah is well in his position on the pitch. It's not high enough for him to get anything. Like, he's not really a goal threat anymore. It's more Nunez, Diaz, and Firmino who are getting those attacking returns rather than Salah now. It's just, it ain't really working for Liverpool this season, obviously. And with those fixtures that they have, it still wouldn't tempt me to keep a hold of Salah now. I just think it's better to just get rid of him and save the money and put it somewhere else because other midfielders and forwards are outscoring Salah by miles now. I mean, Salah's on 45 points, but he's starting to get overtaken by other such players now. It's just, he's 12.7 million. It's just too much money to invest in someone that's not getting any returns now, and even being subbed off today says it all.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Salah and Liverpool at this moment in time. Have you thought about who you're captaining in Game Week 12, by the way? Because obviously you can't captain Haaland because he doesn't play. Now, there was a part of me that wanted to keep Salah just so I can captain him in game week 12, but I don't even know if there's any point anymore if he's going to even get something against that West Ham. Then he's got Nottingham Forest in 13, which I do think is a good fixture, but as I said, we're not really confident on Liverpool in this moment in time. But I do have 2 free transfers as well. Let's move on to your team and just quickly, you're gonna bring up the FPL Planner website, where you can plan the transfers and see how it would look.
Oh, FPL team.
Yeah, FPL.team, which I should have used that website actually.
Okay, bear with me.
I'll let you do that. Bring up your team. Also, I'm gonna read a few comments out. My team for game week 11 is Henderson, Trent, Cancelo, Shaw, Trippier, Zaha, De Bruyne, Martinelli, Scamacca, Haaland, Captain Jesus. Looks nice. Should I do the free hit for game week 12 because of the blanks? I mean, you've got Cancelo, you've got De Bruyne, Haaland. I mean, who do Arsenal have next in game week 11?
Elite.
Yeah, I mean, I personally will try avoid it, the free hit, as if I can, because I'll try use a transfer to take out Martinelli and then or take out a Man City player potentially. Maybe take out De Bruyne for 1 week and then look to bring him back in if you really want him. But I'll try avoid it if you can and just bench the players at blank. Good evening, gents. Welcome, Michael Palkas. Took Saka out.
Oof.
I said, well, took out Saka, Ward-Prowse, Mitrovic for Jesus, Saint Max, and Zaha for a -12. I have no Liverpool players. Thought it'd be 3-2 to Arsenal. Ooh, I mean Saka 2 goals. That would hurt.
I think he got bonus 3 as well.
Yeah.
After that penalty that he scored. Otherwise, yeah, that's a 15-pointer, I think, from Saka.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of us looked at that Liverpool game against Arsenal thinking, we have to get rid of Arsenal players. But there was no need because Arsenal just looked like a class above Liverpool at this moment in time. But yeah, let's talk about your team, then I'll show my team in a bit, Jordan.
Okay.
So that is your team for game week 11?
Yeah, this is the team for game week 11.
Okay, I want you to plan till game week 13. So you've got 1 free transfer and 0.2 million in the bank, right? What move would you want to make that week? Let's assume Mitrovic is fit as well, and he's going to play against Bournemouth.
Okay, so I haven't given as much thought, but definitely Salah would be taken out in game week 11, I think. I'm not keeping it for Man City at home fixture. There is no chance he's staying in my team after what happened today.
Who'd you go to?
That's the thing. There's a few people I could go to. I mean, I can't go to Arsenal, Man City because I've got 2 City and 1 Arsenal, so I can't afford to bring in a 4th because they blank in game week 12, and that would create an issue. So I was thinking maybe go to possibly Bowen. And
who does he have in 11? Let's put Bowen in for now. He's got Liverpool coming up as well in 12.
Yeah, he has Southampton away, which isn't a bad fixture.
Also, Evan says which teams aren't playing in game week 12. So in game week 12, the only teams not playing are Arsenal and Man City, who are supposed to play each other, but because of the postponement, they've both got blank. So Arsenal and Man City don't have a fixture in game week 12, guys. So bear that in mind for those that don't know. So Bowen, I think Southampton away is quite a nice fixture for him. So you could go to Bowen, but that would leave you with a lot of money in the bank as well.
Yes, it would leave me a lot of money in the bank to spread elsewhere. I could potentially upgrade the bench if I really wanted to with it, but
I mean, you could just roll. Let's say you do 1 free transfer. Let's see how you look for next week, though.
Okay.
So I want to see if you did take Salah out, for example. Yeah. Let's assume in game week 12, who do you captain?
So in game week 12, I would probably say fixture-wise, I'll probably captain Zaha against Wolves. I think Zaha has a really nice fixture.
Also, let's just do your subs. So you're going to bench Haaland for Nico and Andreas.
Yeah, so switch out Haaland to go on the bench, just assume, and then Nico out for Cancelo.
I've just realised I might have to hold Salah because who would I captain in 11? I don't know if holding Salah does not sound like an appealing plan to me, but I might have to consider it for another week just so I can captain him in Game Week 12.
Yeah, that is true. I think this transfer for Game Week 12 is obvious
What
because
would you do?
Fofana is out for 4 to 6 weeks, so
Yeah,
he's
you can't
definitely
play
got to
him.
go. No, he can't play. So defender-wise, I mean, I've got 9.2 million, so I can pretty much afford any defender I want. It just depends on what defender I go for in Game Week 12.
Also, you could bring in a midfielder, but
Oh,
then
yes, I could.
you might want Martinelli back, of course. So you wouldn't
Yeah,
want to take Martinelli out.
no, I would keep him in.
I mean, that's another dilemma we have with Trent because Trent's playing. He's playing pretty poor, but there's
Yeah,
not many to go to. Everyone's got Cancelo doesn't play, obviously blanks. James, you've got him. Trippier, you've got him. Who else is there really as that fourth defender? If you're not going to have Trent,
yeah, that's it. There's not many options to go for defender-wise. I know there's a wide variety, but it's one that you really want to keep, and is going to get those returns and clean sheets. But no
yeah,
one's really keeping clean sheets in in
I think
football.
the way to go maybe playing a back three. There's not as many options and keeping two cheap defenders on the bench because yeah, as I mentioned, there's not really any options in defense. The premiums, Perisic ain't doing that
No,
much.
and it's risky as well.
Yep, as always, is a rotation risk and a minutes risk. But yeah, interesting to see what you'd do because I
Yeah,
would get an Arsenal defender in,
the
but
thing is with
you
that
have a
though,
game.
I don't want any Arsenal defenders after Game Week 12. I want two
Attackers.
midfielders that are Arsenal and one up
Oh,
front, which is obviously Jesus.
yeah,
So
fair enough.
going proper attacking just because Arsenal's attack at the moment is relentless. I do
Yeah,
think it's more the points are more invested in the attack for Arsenal at the moment, as we saw today. Saka scores 2, Martinelli gets a goal and an assist. It was unfortunate for Jesus not get anything, but with those trio, I do think it will pay off very well after obviously the blank in Game Week 12.
yeah. Nah, that's fair enough. But yeah, I'll let you do the move. I'm going to do the same with my team. Trying to
Yeah,
bring my team up in a sec. But yeah, have you thought about the Fofana to another defender?
I actually haven't given it much thought, but now that we have the time to now, I'll probably think who I'd want him as my fourth defender or potentially midfielder, but I do have to take out Fofana nonetheless because
Yeah.
I need to play an 11 in Game Week 12.
All right, let's now pull up my team. Where is it? There you go. So this is my team for Game Week 11. So the website we're using is fpl.team. We're not sponsored by them or anything. It's just a nice website that lets you plan your transfers, and it's pretty useful. So we do recommend it for anyone that wants to plan their moves early. So on the screen, you can see what my team is currently. We've gone through this one 4-4-2. I have 2 free transfers. Luckily, I don't actually know what I'd do. Now Trent can go. He could be on the chopping block. I think definitely. Maybe Trent to. I actually haven't given this much thought either. Like, who would I go from Salah to?
I mean, if you wanted to, you could think Spurs. Potentially, you did mention Son as a possible replacement for Salah.
The thing is, I'd rather take Trent out. If I took Trent out, I can get any defender in, but I don't really know as always. I mean, I could get Trippier back in.
Yeah, you could
Because
do that actually.
I mean, I know he's got Man United, and Man United will probably score in that game, so I don't see Trippier keeping a clean sheet. So is it worth getting a Trippier in and then benching Shaw, for example, for Andreas? I could play Andreas this week anyway. Andreas got Bournemouth, but probably wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, it's that defense spot, guys. It's very hard because if I'm not going to bring any Arsenal players in because of the blank, where else do I go? I've got Cancelo, I've got James, and if Trent's not good, option. I can't really think of anyone else that I'd want. And I definitely don't want Trent in this moment in time. But
No, he's going through a moment, I think, Trent.
yeah, and also Trent, I don't know if anyone did watch the game. He did actually come off, and there was rumors that he's injured. He did have a little whack on his ankle by Martinelli. So Trent could actually be a doubt for next game anyway. So he could miss out, which probably forces me anyway to move him out. I'm just going to see the fixtures. I want to see what the fixtures are like for game week 11 before I start. So who's got a nice fixture? Brentford. I mean, Brentford could be a team we target soon, you know. I could get a Brighton player in. Trossard, etc. Have you given it much thought, Jordan? Trossard against Brentford, game week 11.
Again, that's kind of, I don't know about Trossard because he is an injury risk as well.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't really want another injury before game week 12.
Is he injured?
No, he's not injured, but I mean he's a player that does have injury issues towards.
Is he?
Yeah, he gets injured from time to time. I mean, I think not this game week, but last game week
did he miss out?
He didn't miss out, but it looked like he was going to miss out from. I don't know. He picked up something that was a knock or whatnot, but he did end up playing in that game. But
I'm not against it personally because I think Brentford could be a team. It looks like they start shipping goals now. I wouldn't be against getting in a Brighton player because I do think Brighton have some decent fixtures.
Yeah.
Because Brighton, if you see game week 11, Brighton have Brentford, and I know Brentford have been shipping a lot of goals. In game week 12, Brighton have Nottingham Forest as well. So I am actually tempted to bring in a Trossard potentially for the next 2 game weeks if I'm getting rid of Salah, for example. But yeah, we'll discuss that in a sec. We've got Abbas here. I'm going to read a few comments out. Also, guys, if you are just joining in the stream, please do drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. As always, we greatly appreciate all your support. My team for game week 11, Guaita, Trippier, Cancelo, James, Martinelli, Bowen, Zaha, Maddison, Kane, Haaland, Mitrovic. I have 2 free transfers, suggested transfers. Well, you've got Cancelo, he's got Haaland as well, so he's going to bench him in game week 12. What would you recommend, Jordan, to Abbas if he's got 2 free transfers and that's his team?
For game week 11, it's kind of tough because you got all players that I would not really want to transfer out. Maybe you could potentially. I wouldn't take Kane out either because he just scored a goal. He scored a penalty.
Who does he have in game week 11 as well? Kane. Kane's got Everton at home, so I wouldn't want to take Kane out as well for that game.
There is Reece James which was a shock he didn't start, and that's kind of a worry with Potter because that means he is kind of rotating players drastically now.
I do think that was a one-off. I don't think that will be happening often, but I may be wrong. But I don't think Potter's going to do that much often. I know there was a Champions League game, so that could have been why, because they played in the Champions League. So maybe Potter's going to rotate around the Champions League, but there shouldn't be any Champions League fixture for game week 11. So we could be fine there. But I mean, your team looks pretty good, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to change.
It looks well set up.
Yeah. It's the
maybe Maddison, but then maybe Maddison. I mean, then he's got a good, decent fixture against Palace, so I don't know. It's quite tough, really. I mean, you could upgrade the bench and roll, because assuming in game week 12, do you really want to play Emerson in game week 12 when he has Liverpool? I mean, you might do at this moment in time, because West Ham, you're going to need to use Emerson in game week 12, so maybe look to take Emerson out potentially instead of playing Liverpool. Because when Cancelo blanks, when Haaland blanks, you have to rely on your bench, Nico and Emerson. Maybe look to upgrade them to an Anderson or something at Palace or someone like that. Or if you can't,
0 in the bank.
Yeah, maybe Gurhi. We Gurhey, I like Gurhey just because of his fixture. I know he didn't really do well today. I thought Palace were quite good defensively in the second half. I know the first half they didn't look all that, but they grew into the game. So it's just maybe planning for game week 12 blank with your transfers, because your team looks good for 11, but I'd be looking to see how your team looks for game week 12 is the important one, and then see and try do an early transfer. Maybe Gurhey in for Emerson or someone like that. If I'm on 530 points with one less game week, am I doing good? I mean, what rank would that put you at? I'm not so sure. Let us know your rank. I mean, I think it's more than me. I'm not sure. But yeah, you probably are doing quite well if you're on 530 points.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Aniket just sold Mitrovic to Martial. He's injured now. Diaz injured. Fofana injured. What to do? Oof. I mean, Mitrovic, I am holding because, according to Marco Silva, he might be back for Bournemouth. So I think, I would have holded a Mitrovic early news. I know Martial is injured as well. Diaz, we'll have to wait and see. I think, Aniket, there's not much you can do at this moment in time, where I think you've got to wait for the press conferences. If you get any inkling that Diaz is a long-term injury and Martial is, then you've got to take a hit at this rate at this moment in time. I mean, it's unfortunate all your players are injured, but you might have to take a -4. Hopefully, if you do have a free transfer, you could use a free transfer. Maybe take a -4 to get rid of Martial and Diaz if they are injured. Obviously, we will be making videos we'll be back for the stream on Tuesday where we do a transfer tips video with you guys, recommending players that you should bring in and take out. So do check us on Tuesday for that. It should be a good one. But yeah, I think you just have to take them out and potentially take a -4, unless you've got some bench players that you can play. Maybe Andreas, because he's got a decent fixture actually against Bournemouth. So hopefully you can just use your bench. Maybe not take a -8 or anything like that. Jordan, you want to take this comment?
Yeah, Kawanda says, "Hi lads, not the result as a Liverpool I wanted, but for fantasy I'm happy as I have 2 free transfers. Also, plus I have Solanke, Salah, Mitrovic to go, Bowen or Kane, plus someone to come in." Yeah, Solanke was a good pick this week because he did get, I believe, 2 assists from that Leicester game, which was a nice return for those who did bring in Solanke.
So he's bringing in Bowen and Kane, I assume. Bowen or Kane plus someone to come in. Yeah, I mean we've done quite a bit of a Salah chat. I think Salah is one that is definitely potentially could go, but it always comes back to me. If I show you my team on the screen right now, let's say I take Trent out for Trippier, for example, and then let's say I'll bench Fabian Schär, I'll play Andreas, right? So let's say that's my transfer. I got, I'm going to captain Haaland against Liverpool. Why not? I'm going to have to play Andreas that week and play Mitrovic, which I don't know if I'm sure about. But come to game week 12, Haaland blanks. So I take Haaland out for Gurhey, who's got Wolves. Cancelo blanks. So I put in Fabian Schär. So I'll play a double Newcastle defense, potentially. Because Man City blank. And then I have a lot of money, 2 million in the bank. I could do a lot in this team, but then I'll captain Salah. I don't know about this, but I'll probably captain Salah in game week 12 and then look to get rid of him. But I don't know with Salah. It's just me. He could even go for me. I don't think he's worth holding if I'm not going to captain him much. But the reason is I might have to captain him in game week 12. It's the only slight reason I might consider holding on to him. But if I'm being honest, I'm actually not confident of holding Salah for too longer. But it is that fixture that Haaland doesn't play that's swaying me to hold on to Salah for that 1 week and then get rid of him. But that it's kind of not paid off for me going that way, that Liverpool route. I think my rank was around 400k. I wildcard in the Liverpool players, and now it's 1.7 mil, and it's just backfired completely. Because if I didn't have the Liverpool guys, I would have had Martinelli, I would have had Bowen, I would have had potentially even a Foden, who I did consider on a game week 8 wildcard. Aniket says Diaz not looking good. Oof. Yeah, I mean, I saw some news. Diaz left on crutches and a knee brace, so Diaz could be out for a considerable amount of time as well. And with the way he's been playing, he's been Liverpool's best player. If they don't have him, they're probably going to perform even worse. So you have to decide if you want to keep Liverpool assets with Diaz, their best attacker this season, probably missing. Miles MCF. I'm doing for Gameweek 12 triple Arsenal and Man City. I don't know what that means.
I think it means he's bringing in 3 Arsenal and 3 Man City after the blank.
Oh yeah, that's I think everyone should be doing that. If I'm honest, I think after Game Week 12, let's come on to this, my transfer planner. So Game Week 11 out the way, 12, the blanks. We've said that. Game Week 13, you're gonna want Arsenal. So what I'm gonna do straight away, Barnes is gonna go, Martinelli's gonna come in, sure. Even Mitrovic can go potentially for Jesus. I could take out Shaw, bring in Gabriel or Saliba, let's say an Arsenal defender. Trippier will probably go for me because he's got Spurs. I might look to bring in, let's say, I don't know, a Man City defender in Diaz or someone like that. Or it could be a Stones. I mean, I definitely want to triple up on City. You'll put Cancelo back in against Andreas. You put Haaland, of course, back in for probably Gurhi. So in Game Week 13, I'm going to have triple Arsenal. I don't even have triple Arsenal at the moment. And then let's say I'll do Maddison to Saka, because I can also afford Saka. But if I wanted to go that route instead of Jesus, sorry. So look, in Game Week 13, I am kind of set up. And I can captain Salah against Nottingham Forest if I hold him on. I know it's not going to be a popular choice right now, but I'm not so sure about Salah anymore. My current plan, because I've planned with Salah, now I'm at a point where do I throw all my plans out the window, Jordan? Because the reason I wildcarded in Game Week 9 was actually because of Liverpool, because I wanted Salah and Trent in my team. And now I've seen how bad they've played. Do I take them out and just change my entire plan for the next 3-4 weeks that I planned ages ago? What would you think if you're in my situation where you've seen the reason I have Salah, so I can captain him against Nottingham, so I can captain him in Game Week 12 against West Ham? Do you think that I need to think about, potentially just forgetting the plans I made and taking Salah out now, just because Liverpool are probably worse than expected?
Yeah, I think so. I think by now I thought Liverpool would improve, but the way it's looking, I would even bat an eye at Trent, just because Liverpool have kept only 2 clean sheets this season, and it's not the same Liverpool we saw last season at all. It's not just one player that's the problem. It seems to be an ongoing multiple issue that players are just suffering at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's just affecting the whole team currently for everyone. Plus the injuries as well that have come in, like Diaz, injured. Got Trent that possibly could be injured. It's just the injury issues
Diaz,
for Liverpool.
Trent, yeah.
On top of that, add to the problems, and I just I'm not convinced that Liverpool are going to do much this season. It's definitely not the title race for them. Is definitely out the window. Yeah, it's just basically getting top 4 at the moment for Liverpool. But
it will be a tall order for them to get that at this rate, the way they're playing. But
yeah,
we'll have to see. What Liverpool is interesting because obviously I planned my wild card around those Liverpool players, especially Salah. Now you look at Game Week 13. Salah has Nottingham Forest away, but Haaland plays Brighton at home. Usually, I'd say Salah against Nottingham Forest, surely, but I think Haaland against Brighton is a better fixture. And even though how bad Nottingham Forest have been this season, in terms of obviously newly promoted team, etc., targeting them. But would you be more would you be more confident captaining Salah against Nottingham Forest or Haaland against Brighton? You got to say Brighton, right?
Yeah, definitely Haaland against Brighton. Definitely, because we've seen Haaland scored 3 hat-tricks this season so far, which is a tall order for any player to do. And I think 14 or 15 goals this season so far for Haaland. it's hard not to go against captaining him just for those stats.
Well, Sean Kelly says stick with Salah, go against the grain. I've gone against the grain for a while, and it's just causing me to get red arrows now. Having Liverpool when they're just taking up a lot of the budget, not doing anything for me. Saludinho, I triple captain Cancelo. Thoughts? Well done, mate. Brilliant. Obviously, Cancelo with the haul as well. So fair play for going different. How many free transfers do we have in Game Week 11, 12, 13? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Son or De Bruyne?
Probably De Bruyne.
Yeah, well, you got if you can manage Game Week 12 as well. The blank. Mount or Foden. Foden after Game Week 13 for me. Chief, welcome to the stream. Well, Jordan, the season has just begun, so I never know about Liverpool. I mean, I don't know about Liverpool myself, and I'm a Liverpool fan. It's not looking good.
I mean,
today was a worry.
Yeah, I mean, you would arguably say they've been worse than Man United because
I know
Man United had their moments, but Liverpool seem to have had their moments for pretty much every game this season so far. I mean, look at the table where Liverpool are. Bournemouth are above Liverpool.
I haven't even looked at the table, if I'm honest. It's just probably, I don't know where we are on the table at the moment.
Yeah, I believe Bournemouth are above Liverpool. There's many teams above Liverpool that shouldn't be there. They shouldn't be there at all.
Liverpool got to turn this around fast, but in FPL, sticking to FPL, do we need Salah if we're not going to captain him? I don't think you do. If you don't plan on captaining Salah in any game from now, let me just look at Haaland's fixtures. Because there was, there was a lot of chat. Haaland perma captain. Would you be captaining Haaland against Brighton, Jordan? Leicester, Fulham, Brentford, Leeds, Everton.
100%.
So then why would I keep Salah then, really? I think I'm probably going to get rid of Salah. He was a bit of a differential for me. I was hoping that, everyone's gone off Salah. I'll keep him and he'll get me some returns because I know what the quality that he has, obviously, when they play at their max potential. But I don't foresee Liverpool getting to that level anytime soon. What they've set in the last couple of years. And that is my worry with Liverpool assets. And I don't see me captaining Salah much. Now, obviously, we are going to discuss more in depth in the transfer tips video what I do, what we recommend, and also team selection and everything. Saludinho, I'd rather have Firmino over Salah. I mean, Firmino is also, I don't know if I'd want him because he's a rotation risk as well. He didn't start today, came off the bench. He did score, fair enough, but yeah, I'll rather have a player that plays 90 minutes. Kimchi, Peterson, thoughts on Almiron, Gomes, Jordan?
My thoughts on them have been really good at Almiron, especially with that 5-1 win. He did score, and so did Gomes coming back from injury. So yeah, I would have quite liked Almiron in my team, especially at the price he is at 5.1 million. He's quite a bargain for a midfielder option, especially for the Andreas slot, because Almiron seems like a more of a goal scorer than Andreas does, even though Andreas scored today, but that is irrelevant. Overall, I would say, so far how the season's gone, Almiron, I think, has scored, 3 goals for Newcastle so far.
4 goals, I think, this season, which is double Salah.
Yes.
Salah's only got 2 goals this season.
That just shows another example of outperforming midfielders that shouldn't be outperforming. But yeah, Almiron, I would be tempted to have in my team, just the way Newcastle have in the season so far. And Gomes, potentially, maybe.
I like Gomes.
Sure. Yeah, I do like
coming back from injury. Brilliant player. I like Newcastle this season.
Yeah. Excellent signing for Newcastle, Gomes.
Yeah, I agree. Sean Kelly, when you guys on, just seen you for the first time. Really great show. Thank you, Sean. If you do enjoy the content, guys, please do drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Well, thank you. It's just we're on pretty much every week, really. With 2-3 times a week we stream. Today's a later deadline. Knee-jerk stream. We usually stream at 7 p.m. So today's later one because of the Man United game. But if you haven't already, do follow us on Twitter and subscribe to us so you know when we go live. So let me just plug our Twitter. The FPL Duo on Twitter. If you want to follow us on there, we always tweet out when we go live. But we stream on Tuesdays, we stream Thursdays and Saturdays mainly. So 7 p.m. But nice to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. And welcome to the channel. Anything else we want to discuss, guys? Do drop it in the comments below. Nanja says, what rank should I be aiming for? I'm at 350. I mean, just keep going as you are, and hopefully, try aim as high as you can, I'd say.
Aim for number 1, Nj. That's where you want to be.
Yeah, number 1, hopefully. I mean, maybe not for me this season. I mean, last season definitely it went a lot better for me at this moment. I think I was around 3K overall rank this time last year, I believe. Around this time, I was having a very good season last year, and then my start was very good. But yeah, this is probably the worst start I've had in FPL for a while. Anything else we need to talk about, Jordan? We've spoke about Liverpool. We spoke about, Man City. That Man City game next week scares me as a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, I think that's going to scare a lot of people, especially if Trent's not featured in it. Because
even if he plays,
yeah,
even if he plays,
yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
He could be better than Trent at this moment in time. I thought they were a bit more solid when he came on instead of Trent. But
yeah, I think Trent's going through a lot of things because he's not in the England squad as well. Yeah, so I guess that's a put off for him, just because Southgate hasn't chosen him, and he's chosen. I can't believe he's chosen Maguire and Luke Shaw over him. That's just
so that's a whole. We'll have a discussion on that. We will be doing a World Cup fantasy football as well, so do make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss any of the World Cup content. We are going to be doing a fantasy World Cup team thing where we're going to play that game as well, a fantasy game for World Cup. So it should be a good one. But yeah, anything else that I've missed? Any comments? I'm trying to see. Not really.
There is one interesting thing that we've learned from this evening's match against Arsenal. That Saka is the penalty taker, because we weren't too sure this season who it was, because I think that's Arsenal's first penalty. Yeah, Saka took the penalty this evening. Arsenal have not had a penalty until obviously tonight, and we didn't know who was the penalty taker, but it seems like Saka is.
Also, I was going to ask you, as you can see on my team for Gameweek 13, I'm going to bring in Saka probably. Are you planning on bringing in Saka as well, or Jesus? Because I'm going to choose out of Saka, Jesus. I think I'm going to bring in an Arsenal defender, because you look at Arsenal's fixtures very quickly. Arsenal's fixtures, and Southampton looks good for a clean sheet. Nottingham looks pretty good for a clean sheet. Wolves don't score many goals. West Ham as well. I don't need to worry about West Ham actually, because that's after the World Cup. So yeah, until 16, I could see 3 clean sheets potentially there.
And
I like your strategy as well, going bold and being different.
Yeah, I just love Arsenal's attack. It's so good this season that it's crazy. I do think they will challenge for the title against Man City. I'm going to be so excited when Arsenal go against Man City, because that could ultimately decide the title race.
Yeah, I have different opinions on that. I don't think there will be a race. I think Arsenal will do very well to chase Man City. If we get to February and they're still close, I think they've done a brilliant job. I think Man City will run away with it a bit. Maybe not by a lot of points, but I do think second half of the season, Man City will open up a gap. But we'll see if Arsenal can keep it up. But they've been brilliant so far this season. And fair play to Arsenal. Brilliant the way they're playing so far. But we'll see.
I am rooting for Arsenal.
Yeah, it'll be nice if it's someone else. City going for 3 in a row, aren't they? So
yeah,
it may be nice to change hands. But yeah, Nanje says Fantasy World Cup. Yeah, obviously there is a World Cup fantasy football game that will come out. I know there was one in 2018, so assuming there should be another one for this World Cup. So we will be playing that one and doing content on it as well. But if you want to see that, do drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the World Cup content. But yeah, that is really the stream, guys. The transfers, I think triple Arsenal looks good from game week 13. Definitely triple Man City looks good from game week 13 onwards.
Yeah, everything that's good.
Liverpool, you look like you probably could get away without any Liverpool assets at this moment in time. I know everyone that has had a good season so far, they've got no Liverpool players. But Liverpool, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking they've got to turn it around. Surely Liverpool have to turn it around. I mean, Nottingham Forest.
I mean,
Leeds.
I understand the fixtures are great. It's just the form. It's not,
I mean,
not matching it.
FPL.team is predicting 8 points against Leeds for Salah. So they're expecting him to get 8.26 expected points. It's mad.
I think in another scenario, like last season, I would say that's a possible thing, but I don't think it's possible this season.
Kimchi also says your plan on blank Gameweek 12. Well, my plan is to bench Haaland, bench Cancelo. I don't have any Arsenal players. Another reason why I avoided Arsenal players was not because I don't think they're a good team, but because of the blank in Gameweek 12. I went without Martinelli. Obviously, he goes and scores and gets an assist against Liverpool, which maybe I should have seen coming the way Liverpool are playing. But hey, that's the risk I knew I was taking with Martinelli being so high owned. Damian Mason, Jordan, would you take a punt on Trossard? Gameweek 12.
The way my team is set up, I can't possibly do that. But if I was able to, I might have done taking the punt on Trossard. I mean, it's not a bad idea because with the new manager, the way he's been with Brighton, it's been even better, I would say, than when obviously Potter was in charge, which is crazy because he's only been there for 2 games. But Brighton do look good in attack.
Also, I was going to add, Trossard has a nice fixture in game week 12 against Nottingham Forest. But after that, he's got Chelsea and Man City. So you'll have to figure out, would you want to only bring him in for 12 or not? But I'd probably look to bring him in this week. I'd want him against Brentford. I want him against Brentford and Nottingham. So bring him in for now and then take him out potentially when he's got that Man City game in game week 13.
Yeah.
Possibly Saliba and Defo Saka return for me. Man City might focus on Champions League and slip up in the Premier League. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, Man City are just so relentless in every competition. I think if they wrap it up, I think if it's a tight race, I don't think they will lose focus. If they build a margin on Arsenal, maybe that will come into play. But if it's still tight, I think Man City will still be going for it. Khaled says, will there be a double game week before the World Cup? No, guys. You don't need to worry about any double game weeks. There won't be any, as far as I'm aware, before the World Cup. So there will be no double game weeks before the World Cup. So just plan till game week 16 because there will be unlimited transfers after game week 16. And that's when we break up for the World Cup. Do you want to take this one?
Miles says Mount or Maddison. I'll probably pick Maddison still. I know Mount got 2 assists, I think, in the Wolves game, but I'm still iffy about Chelsea assets. As I've mentioned before, I just don't trust them.
I mean, they start looking a bit better, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I know they got 3 goals, didn't they, in the weekend? Oh, yeah. Well, yesterday.
I think I'm just annoyed that Reece James didn't play in that game and Chelsea got a clean sheet. I think that's one of the reasons. And
I mean,
just when the history of having Chelsea in my team has not gone well at all for me.
I mean, Mount also got the 3 bonus points. I mean, I think Mount is a good pick. Still, I think Mount is a decent pick. But Maddison, I think you might have missed a boat on Maddison. Who's he got next week? Maddison, he's got Palace. I mean, could be interesting. And also, as Damien said, Maddison is 1 yellow away from a suspension. So Mount, I know Mount's a lot lower owned, so you could go to Mount. I don't hate Mount. I think he's a good player, and I think with the way Potter wants to play, he probably get more game time. And as you saw, 2 assists plus the bonus 3 points. I think it's decent. And Chelsea, on paper, have some nice fixtures. In game week 11, they have Villa. Villa are struggling this season. Game week 12, Chelsea have Brentford, which is another good game on paper, I'd say. Game week 13, they have Man United. Okay, could be a bit tough, but you can still score against Man United. And then game week 14, Chelsea play Brighton. I think Chelsea's fixtures are good. We're underlooking some Chelsea players because I still think if you pick the right Chelsea player, I think they will score goals. It's just hard to predict who will get the goals in their matches. They don't really have what's the word? like a player that you know is going to rely for goals. With Liverpool, it's Salah, Haaland for City. With Chelsea, it's like it's kind of spread out their goals, so
Yeah,
you
could
don't
be
really
Kai
know who's going
Havertz.
to score one week. It might be
Yeah,
Pulisic. You know who's gonna. You're not going to bring Pulisic in, are you? Really?
no.
No, we don't know at the moment in time, but you don't need to worry. I think for now, we will make content regarding double game weeks when the time is closer, when they are announced, but nothing for now. Nan just says, good content, guys. I wish you guys both green arrows next week. Yeah, I've been wishing
Thank,
myself for a green arrow
thanks,
for
Nanja.
ages now.
We kind of need it in the 1 million bracket.
Yeah. I mean, it's still early. That's what I keep telling myself. And hopefully now we start pushing on and doing better. But hopefully, yeah, things do change and we can start moving up the ranks. Hopefully, break into that 100k. But I need to start getting my transfers right. And Liverpool, going back in Liverpool so heavy, it's not been paying off. Madison is. I read that one. Kimchi. Any players? I'll let you take this one, Jordan.
Any players that have surprised you this year and doing quite well? I am surprised at Pascal Gross this year. I am surprised he's doing. He was doing really well at the start of the season because he's always played for Brighton for many years, but this season he has excelled a lot, and quite surprised that he's just come out of his shell in terms of that for Brighton.
How many goals has he got so far? I'm just gonna double check as well.
Yeah, I think it's the best season he's had for Brighton. I think.
Pascal Gross. He's on 3 goals, Premier League goals so far. Trossard's on 5. It's a good question. I mean, who surprised me? I'm gonna say Haaland. I know it's obvious, but 15 goals in 9 games. I knew he was gonna score a lot of goals, but not maybe to this extent. 15 in 9. I don't know what he's gonna finish on, but yeah, I'll say Haaland just because I knew he was gonna do well. But if you told me 15 in the first 9 games, for first 8 games really, because obviously one was postponed, I would know what I would have said. So yeah, it's got to be Haaland for 15 Premier League goals. Also, I think someone like Trossard has all started off the season very well. Mitrovic as well, maybe a bit of a surprise. 6 goals so far this season as well. Maybe we didn't expect that at the start of the season because obviously his last couple Premier League stints he didn't go as well. Gutted transferred out Martinelli, transfer in Gross, Trossard for Rashford, harder fixtures. Yeah, I'd probably bring in Trossard. I think I like Trossard. Jordan, would you keep or sell Son?
I'd probably sell Son, I think, because I know he scored that hat trick in the Leicester game, but I think that's all the returns he's had so far this season. He still hasn't really got going, Son, and for the price he's at as well, there's so many other cheaper options you can go for.
I'm just seeing fixtures as well. Who does Son play in 11? Everton. I mean, I might want to keep him for that, but in 12 he's got Man United as well.
Yeah, I'm slightly siding to form over fixture currently. It's just the way the season's gone so far. It seems like form just dominates over fixtures. That you would think players do well in these fixtures, but aren't, which they should be doing. But the form of other players that are doing better in hard fixtures. Let's say Martinelli, for example. He had Liverpool today, scored a goal and an assist, and he had a difficult fixture, but his form has been relentless. So that's just an example of why.
I think we need to look at both as well. I mean, but usually I do usually side towards fixtures. Obviously, as always, I do look at the fixtures. I think it is very important still because I still think fixtures give you form. When you play a worse team in the league, you probably have more chance of scoring, etc. But yeah, we'll definitely look. The Martinelli one is a good example because Liverpool looks like a tough fixture. I mean, they were at home, so if it was maybe at Anfield, it may be a bit more tougher. But yeah, I can see what you're coming from actually, Jordan. He says Martinelli has surprised me, says Mark. And then Izuma, good option. Yeah, I mean, he's a cheap option. West Ham have some decent games as well, don't they, West Ham?
Yeah,
seeing that they have.
They do have good fixtures and their defense look better.
Southampton next, so if you want to play him in that one. Game week 12, they got Liverpool. You never know. Zuma did score against Liverpool last season, so he could do it again. Game week 13, they've got Bournemouth as well. Yeah, why not? Zuma could be a good shout. Maybe he's a bit of a threat as well from set pieces. But yeah, we are going to wrap the video up, guys, because we've gone just over an hour. So we only meaning to go for an hour anyway. It's a late one today, but we are going to wrap the stream up. We just want to say a big thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Also want to say a big thank you to everyone that has watched the stream. If you have commented, we just want to say thank you, guys. And also, if you haven't already, as always, please do drop a like. It really, really helps our channel and it lets our videos be seen more on YouTube. So please drop a like. And also, if you haven't already, do subscribe. And we are going to wrap it up here. Anything else you'd like to add just before we do wrap up, Jordan?
Just thank you everyone for watching, and obviously this game week is still going on because Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest play tomorrow. So all the best of luck for those who have players in that game, and I hope everyone has a very good week as well.
Yep. Yeah, hope everyone enjoyed their weekend. We'll be back again on Tuesday for a transfer tips video. So do join us on Tuesday, 7 p.m. UK time for the transfer tips, and then back on Thursday for the team selection. But for now, that is it from the FPL Duo, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share the video on all your socials, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you, guys, and have a good one. Take care.
Yeah, take it, guys. See you Tuesday.